It's built so that I can move into the house.
The addition had multiple purposes. One, so that Smell could have a place to live.
Well, Smell's homeless, as far as I know. But he needs a place to live.
Bonesaw's gonna move in here. Hoag's gonna take Bonesaw's room, and then I take Hoag's room. So we all upgrade a little bit.
And plus, it just increases the value of the house and everything. And we had the opportunity where Duane wanted to do it as kind of like a learning experience too. So it was a perfect chance to learn how to do everything, about building a house. And I've always wanted to know all those things. So I really, I've through my years, I've always fixed things, but I never could quite fix them right.
Duane was talking about like what he sees when he goes into a room, because he builds rooms. He talks about how he sees the angles and he sees everything plumb, and he wants to check out if everything's perfect, right angles, plumb, plumb, plumb. When he came over to this house, he must have been like, Jesus.
So I had a lot of bad habits and stuff like that. So I tried to be as open as possible as I could to just relearn how to do everything.
He was always anxious to get the next step done, looking for the end process. Certainly respect that. And that was a lot of the driving force for me too, to kind of keep focused here.
This was pretty much Bonesaw's whole deal. Even though it was making room for Smell in the house, it would be his wing, as Smell calls it, the Papa Bear wing. But so this whole thing is for him, and so he was really he was involved in all aspects of the project, the inspection, everything. Time to paint, baby.
I guess I need to have it.
Where's your plastic suit?
I don't get one. Only for the big D, man. I'm about to get splattered.
So there was sort of a hierarchy to the project. It was Duane, Bonesaw. Right below him, I'd say, was Smell. And then, way below those guys were me and Connor.
Originally, before we knew Twink was moving out, Smell was going to move in and we'd all four live here. So the original plan was for the whole band to live together.
Pretty good. It could go toward the house a tad.
When Twink made the split, then we had to sort of readjust because now we had an extra room. So okay, we're building an addition, but there's a room open up. So Connor's going to come down here and live here for good, or for an indefinite stretch of time.
He might be in the band eventually, but he's going to be kind of like our number 5. So essentially the whole band will still live here. Sean
has plans,
which he's pushing pretty hard, is to move into the old whale, which is in the backyard. Smell moving in and everything is really a retrenching. Obviously we're going for it all the way. So
Yeah, and I think it will just help us jam more, play more sports, do more arts and crafts together. All kinds of things that we already do. We'll just do them more and earlier in the morning and later at night. Okay, day starts about 8 o'clock. Bonesaw probably wakes up, comes out here and piddles around. Then my dad gets here about 8:30. I meander in about 10:30 or so.
Smell's a great worker, except that he showed up, hour minimum late every day. But he's here working, a lot of times when we're not.
Yeah, well, the poor guy's lived with us all of his life, so he brought a lot of knowledge and experience into it.
23 7/8.
Yes, sir. And it's good working around LA because I've done this a couple of times where he'll come and help me with a job, but he really does a good job of if he's not busy, typically he will look for something that needs to get done, which is you know, in the working world, you look for people like that don't stand around and you don't have to tell them to do something all the time.
We called in Hogue when we needed extra muscle because he's the muscle man here. And literally, Duane would be like, "Hey, we need to dig another trench over here. I think we should call Hogue."
We had an alarm clock for Hogue, and it was typically the saw of the compressor would go off. For a period of time, Hogue was outside enjoying the outside temperatures. He was sleeping in the tent.
I was spending the summer outside in a tent for whatever reason.
So he wasn't in the house to really kind of wake up with the household. He was outside, and so, you know, we just set an alarm clock, and he'd wake up, come on in, and get to work.
Some people wake up to birds chirping. Others wake up to a circular saw.
Con Man was down for anything. I mean, I'd send him into some pretty tight spots, but I really only saw him at one point. He really lost it that day. It was so hot. We did a long roof session, and he came back out, went back on the roof, and he just unleashed some expletives and said, you know, took off his hat. I need to get off this roof.
We had 90 days of 100+ degree days, and of course those are the days we chose to get the roof on.
The roofing was awful. It was so hot.
The average was, you know, over 100.
Probably 110, 115 easy.
Probably 125, I would say.
I am scared of heights, so even though the roof is only like 10 feet high, it was still pretty intimidating at times, especially when we didn't have any of the plywood up, and it was just the rafters. You had to step from rafter to rafter. It was
You're saying raptor?
Raptor. I did say raptor one time.
Velociraptor?
You have to watch out for the velociraptors down below. That's what makes it so precarious.
But and then the other really tough one was the ditch. We had to dig a ditch from the end of this addition all the way back near the canoe there, and it was for the plumbing, and you know, roots, rocks.
Trench wasn't so bad to dig. It was just kind of annoying because we'd already been digging so much, and my dad's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we need this huge long trench down to the end of the yard for the plumbing."
That was terrible, and yet I look back on it with fondness.
Digging the trench I thought was fun. It was so difficult and just physically challenging. We were out there just striking away. And for some reason I thought that was just fun.